Just waiting for people to come. Hi, the two people, whoever you are, that are already in. Hey, HA, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. Just waiting for a few more people to arrive before I start. Hey, Mama. Hey, Roz. How are you? How you doing, babe? Just waiting for a few more people to get in here before I get going. I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet. As short and sweet as possible. Hope everybody what's everybody doing for Father's Day? Anybody got major plans for Father's Day? It's just gonna be another day for me. Welcome everyone. You good? I'm glad you're good. Glad you're doing good. How's the urine therapy? It's fantastic. I'm still on it, still doing it. I had several cups of my own urine today and didn't have any bowel dysfunction like I did. I guess I was going through a crisis. Thank you, MZ. Thank you for the compliment. So that has leveled off. I'm not just going to the bathroom like a tornado, like a shitstorm, literally, as I was before. But the energy levels are good. Um, I feel good. I feel good internally. This is like the craziest thing I've ever done. But my hope is that, I can't, well, not hope, because it's just a matter of doing. Um, Really adopting this as a lifestyle, not just to diet, which it is good for weight loss too, by the way. Urine therapy is good for weight loss. It's good to build muscle. I've heard that boxers use urine therapy, so do weightlifters. Like this is a secret to building muscle and that sort of thing. So I'm waiting to see, all the benefits. I'm still putting it in my eye. Well, as you can see, I still need my glasses, but the hell was that? But we'll see. We'll see how it transforms. But for now, I'm still on it on a daily basis. And I love what it's I put it on my face too, by the way. And I like what it's doing for my face. I like what's going on there. I see some changes going on there already. So that's good. So the topic for today is how not to be manipulated by men. And the reason why I'm doing this today is because of a back and forth conversation that I had between last night and this morning with a gentleman who claims to be interested in me and what have you. And honey, you like the topic? Yeah. So his tactic. Now, this particular gentleman, he may jump on this live, and if he does, I'm gonna light his ass up. I'm gonna light his ass up in front of all of you. But he sent several donations to me, saying that he was a supporter of the channel, supporter of me, he liked me, and all that kind of stuff. And he sent it to my PayPal. As you guys know, I always put the PayPal link. Anybody who wants to donate and support the channel is willing to. He's not the only one that does. He's not the biggest donator, none of that. I have a lot of supporters, a lot. So I guess he figured because he put a couple of coins in my coffers that he was able to just say whatever he wanted to say to me. It was like there was no boundaries there because he put a little money in my hand. No, sir. no, sir, that's not how this thing goes. Number one, I didn't ask you for money. The money you gave me was unsolicited. You gave out of your own heart. You gave because you were incentivized to do that. Never asked you for it. So that's on you. Number two, just because, who's a thought? Is somebody here? Okay, we got a troll here. What's the thought thing? Dana Deep Throat? I don't even know what that is. How do I get rid of people on here? See, I don't know that yet. I'm gonna have to figure it out because I don't know what you're trying to say there. Anyway, so I feel like because he donated, he felt that there was the line was blurred. He didn't have to come at me with respect. He didn't have to have simple manners and taste. You know, the conversation immediately started going to sex. It started getting sexual like immediately. And any of you that watch my channel know that I am not a supporter. I'm not a propagator of talking about anything sexual when you are first meeting a man. That should be the last thing you even discuss, because that's the last thing. It should be the last thing on your mind. You need to find out other things that are going on. You need to find out other things that are going on. So, you know, he claims to be this big supporter, watching all the videos. I'm like, and you don't know that my MO is, you're not going to talk to me about squirting, which, you know, he alluded to, you must be a squirter and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, who does that? Like, that's your opener? That's your opener because you dropped a few coins in my PayPal account. That means that you can talk to me about what you think I do in bed. But this is what we entertain. This is what we entertain. So he felt because I talk about sex on this channel, which all of you can attest to, do I talk about technique? Do I talk about how good sex is? Or do I try to turn you off from it? You tell me, you guys tell me that watch my channel, what do I say about sex and sexual activity? I always tell you to be careful. I always warn you against the casualty or being casual with it. You said you make it sound gross, actually. Yeah, because I make it sound true. Not only gross, but I make it sound true. You never hear me talking about it lines up your fucking chakras and all this other dogma talk to get you to drop your drawers for just no reason. You don't hear that on this channel because it's a cautionary tale. You're opening up your body to another being and he's putting all his bacteria, all his whatever into you, changing your life forever. I'm always cautious about that. Always. So when a guy feels too comfortable, which is what he felt, too comfortable to maintain manners in a healthy distance, just a healthy boundary, just to see where I'm going, follow my lead. You don't do that. You jump right into, I like you. I want to know what you're like in bed. Really? And some of you think that's a compliment. Some of you would engage a conversation like that because a dude put a couple dollars in your hand. You like, all right, well, you know, we could talk about it. What's the harm in talking about it? The harm is you are setting a precedence and establishing bounds for respect. And if you decide, well, he can say whatever he wants to say to you, then it goes from say whatever you say to let me try to touch you. Let me try to invade your space. It always escalates. It never stops where it's at. It always escalates. It'll escalate from, I wonder if you squirt, to let me send you pictures of my dick. It never ends well. It never ends well. Boundaries are necessary to keep people and especially men in check because they all want to take advantage. They all want to take advantage. Yes, ma'am. Let her make the first move. You must follow the woman's lead. You must follow her lead. Don't jump to conclusions. You guys don't understand that you don't know when a woman is interested in you either. You don't know if she's bullshitting you. So you follow her lead. Don't get overly confident and aggressive straight off the gate. Test it out and see. Feel it out and see. And if I'm indulging or asking questions about sex, then you know that's an opener for you to, it opens you up to state whatever it is you're curious about, because I'm talking about sex. But if I'm not talking about it, then it's off the table. It's off the table. But this is how they manipulate. So when I checked his ass on that shit, of course it goes into, well, you know, you are just too self-conscious. You're too overly sensitive. You're reading it the wrong way. You're making more out of it than it is. You've been hurt before. All you ladies have heard that shit before. Anytime you check them, it always turns to, you're too emotional. You don't have a good judge of character. You're reading it wrong. You're making more out of it than what it was. I didn't mean to insult you or hurt you or whatever it is that they say. And they do this so that you in turn question your logic. You question your feelings. The insult that you feel that it was, the offense that you feel that naturally, instinctively you felt it was, now you're questioning that. And this is what they do. This is how they manipulate. By making you question how you feel. Women know how to discern the BS. I wish it was all of us. I wish it was all of us, but some of us do not trust ourselves enough to read the BS. And when you don't trust yourself, when you second guess yourself, which is what happens when they talk about you being, you're making more out of it than what it is, that statement alone, you've been hurt before. Who has not been hurt before? What does me being hurt before have to do with what the fuck you're telling me right now? Absolutely nothing. I'm dealing with and I'm talking about what you are saying to me right now. We ain't talking about my past. We're not talking about what I've been through. I'm not projecting what someone else did to me on you. I am discussing and dealing with how you are dealing with me. You have to keep it in the present. You have to keep it. Listen, what you observe is what is. Let's just simplify this shit. What you observe is what is. Making more out of something than what it is. How can I make more out of something when all I'm addressing is what you're doing? That's all I'm addressing. That's it. Making more out of what? You're disrespectful to me. I'm telling you you're disrespecting me. I'm telling you you're crossing the bounds, and your response is you're making more out of it than what it actually is, instead of apologizing, because it's, if you're talking to me, then what I feel about what you're saying to me is what matters. We're not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about how you are speaking to me. Matters to me. And if I'm offended by what you say, then we just have to deal with that. We're not dealing with anything else. We're not dealing with anything else. Yes, HA, they try to make you second guess yourself. And that is the softener. That's what softens your hedge, that hedge of protection you have around yourself. It softens it. It opens up the door. They pick to see where you're vulnerable at. And it usually starts by them making statements about your judgment to make you second guess your judgment and what you instinctively feel is wrong. You must trust yourself at all costs. Even if you're wrong, you still trust what you feel. Because 9 times out of 10, what you instinctively feel about that guy is the truth. And you ladies could attest to that. You can attest to that. How many times has your mind said, you know, this ain't right? And it turned out to be fucked up. It turned out to be exactly what you instinctively thought that it was. How many times have you been wrong? Tell me. How many times has that gut feeling been wrong for you? How many? It's hardly ever wrong. It's hardly ever wrong, but we are told that we are wrong. We are told that we are overthinking. What the hell does overthinking mean? How could you overthink? No. Collins, you asked, does this go both ways? What do you mean? Does what go both ways? Does what? Does what? So, you know, this is the thing you have to be mindful of when you are talking to men and they immediately go to, you've been hurt before. Flag it. You know, I would say put a flag on it. Flag the shit. Because it is him trying to poke holes and see what you will admit to see what you are insecure about, to see how he can get around and manipulate your emotions. That is all that is. They attack that first. If you check the conversations that you have with men, it's always, let me put a doubt in her mind about what she's thinking. Let me put a doubt in her mind about what I'm actually doing to her. Let me put a doubt so that even though I'm doing this, she thinks I'm doing something else. This is what they do. That, along with vanity. That's another way they manipulate us, ladies, is through our vanity, is through our need to be attractive to men. All he has to do is say you're beautiful. I love the way you look. I love your style. I love your hair. And, you know, God is this and that and the other. And we start warming up to it. We start diminishing or putting down our defenses because we hear this thing like, oh, he likes the way that I look, so then he likes me. Because a man likes the way that you look doesn't mean that he likes you. Doesn't mean it, or should I say, doesn't mean that he cares. It doesn't mean anything until he starts doing things that show that he cares. It doesn't mean a thing. It's just words. It's just words. Until there's action behind it, it's just words. And we have to approach this thing as, for what it is, for what it is. Every man that you meet is going to try, well, test you, whatever you want to call it, test, manipulate, whatever, to see what he can get from you for free. They're going to see. So, like I said in the previous live, you ladies always ask, where are the good men at? There are no good men anywhere. Men are good based on the instructions you give them, based on the boundaries that you have, based on what you agree to or disagree with. That's what makes them good. You are their self-consciousness. You are their conscience. Your values and how you walk and what you decide. Thank you, Sure Thing. Thank you so much for your donation. What you decide to do dictates what he is able to do to and for you. They don't come ready-made like that. If you decide to let a man run the show, let's say, for instance, I'm just going to go with the flow, and whatever you want to do, we're going to do. Do you know what your life will look like if you allow him to just run the show? I want you to imagine what things would be like. You'll be doing a lot of things you don't want to do. You'll be doing a lot of things that are unsafe. A whole bunch of things. You will be compromising your body. Yeah. You'll probably be spending money and all kinds of stuff you will be taken advantage of. Hands down, you will. D. Pie, you said women are their own worst enemy. Why do you say that? Are you a male or female? First off, why do you say women are their own worst enemy? So clarify your statement. Anyway, you know, be on the lookout for that. And I'm not telling you to, let me say this. Don't be afraid of men. Do not be afraid of men. You said rename the video to how to avoid being manipulated by smooth talking men. No, I don't have to rename the video because it's not just smooth talking men. It's men that act agreeable that will manipulate you too. Manipulation, and the best manipulators are the ones that make you feel like you're still making your own decisions. So fuck off with that, because that doesn't mean anything. It's not just smooth talking people. It's people who act like, you know, they're docile too. That can reel you in. Manipulation can come in all kind of degrees. You have the ones that are violent. You have the ones that are smooth talking. You have the nerds that can manipulate you too. Nerds can do that too. Just like the roughnecks and the bad boys and all that. Manipulators come in all shapes and sizes. You have ugly men who manipulate just as good, and usually even better, because all they have is mental. Since they don't have any physical beauty, all they've been able to cultivate all their life is mental game. So they're even more skilled than a man who has attractiveness. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. It could come from anywhere. This is why I'm telling you women to keep your need for validation at bay. You got to calm that down. You cannot take the kind words as fact. You can't take a compliment as a fact. You can't. You can't take interest, phone calls, flowers, or money as a fact of anything. You really can't. You can't base how you're going to move, or if you're going to offer up your body, on kind words or a couple of dollars here and there. Consistency over a long period of time is really how you judge what you have. Not a one-off here or there. Well, the title of the video leads the reader to believe that it applies to all men. And your point is what? If I'm saying it applies to all men, then what? It doesn't apply to you? Are you a good man, Mr. Logical? Are you an exception? Is that what you're saying? Because if you were an exception, you wouldn't be on this video. If you were an exception, you wouldn't be offended. If you were an exception. My thing is, you know, I'm not about anti-men, anti-black men. That is not what this channel is about. You'll never see any of my videos on anti-anything. That is not how I roll. All men, white, black, green, yellow, red, are the same. All men have the potential to use, abuse, mistreat, sexually violate, whatever it is. All men do. And it is up to us as women to have our standards, our mode of conduct, everything in place so that they know, okay, I cannot do this with you. I can't do what I usually do with her. That's all I'm saying. So for me, men are guilty until proven innocent, not innocent until proven guilty. I am not a propagator of benefit of the doubt, because I don't believe there's a benefit when you doubt. There is no benefit in doubting. How can there be a benefit in something you doubt? How? You tell me the logic. I doubt that something is true, but there's a benefit in it? No. You are guilty until proven innocent. I don't know what you want. I don't know what your intentions are until I see your actions. And that's it. You said you're an exception, Mr. Logic? You want a better understanding of black women? Okay. All right. Well, you know, what I'm saying here is that women have to be careful. Because we are emotional, we have a tendency to be vulnerable, or make ourselves vulnerable, and we don't trust ourselves enough to really trust what we feel, what we instinctively feel. We give men chances that show, not in, sometimes, and most times it's not even a speculation here, that show that they're disrespectful, that show and say they don't want relationships. But we go into, well, I'm gonna prove that, you know, I'm gonna win you over. I'm gonna prove that I'm a good woman. Yes, Rosalind, guilty until proven innocent. That's the maxim for today. That maybe should have been the title of this video. They're all guilty until they show and prove that what you know, that their intentions are genuine. That's it. That's it. So this thing called vanity is the way that they make us beg for love. It's the way, because what it does is this. If a man tells you you're beautiful, right, and you don't really think that you are, then it kind of, it creates this thing where he's the source of your confidence. He's the source of your value. He becomes the purveyor of everything good that you feel about yourself. It becomes an external thing, and he can puppetize you. He can dangle it in your face, and when he's ready, sorry y'all, somebody keeps calling me. Stand accused of loving you too much. I hope that's not a crime. Man, get out of here. You be trying to woo, and you're not really that good at it. Cut it out. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, the vanity thing, you gotta validate yourself. You gotta already know, I'm the shit, I'm beautiful, independent of what any man thinks. So when he comes into your space and says, oh, I love your hair, and you're so this and you're so that, what happens is it becomes a take it or leave it. What he thinks of you is literally a take it or leave it. It's inconsequential. It really isn't that important what he thinks. And you want to be in a position where you feel that way, so that you're not under his thumb. Man, you said no woo song? Cut it out. So that is what I'm saying. And then the other point, what you say, Mr. Most men are dogs and probably do not deserve the benefit of a doubt, but I must say there's a small minority. Listen, there are exceptions to every rule, right? There are exceptions to every rule. Of course, then there's not every man that really tries to manipulate and coerce and talk a woman out of her drawers and that sort of thing. There are men out here that don't do that. A small percentage of men that don't do that. But what I deal with on this channel are odds. And if the odds are not in your favor to get one of this small group of men that don't do that, then we toss that out. We toss the baby out with the bathwater. That's what we do here. I don't entertain small percentages of this and not all when the odds are against it. When the odds of me finding a fool that wants to manipulate me are higher than the guy that doesn't do that. Exactly, Rosalind. The majority rules. The majority rules. Because more than likely, all of us are going to run into the guy who is about just getting the drawers, just trying it out, just want to see how your booty work, you know, and in between whatever else he has going on. The odds are that we are all going to find those type of men before we find a man who is quote unquote honorable and what, doesn't have a high sex drive or something like that, so he's not a manipulator, or maybe his penis doesn't work, or whatever it is, whatever circumstances causes him to not be a predator. The odds of us finding a man who is not a predator are very small. Very small. So I don't entertain that. I'm not a woman who talks about hope, being hopeful, being positive. I am a positive person, and I recommend that we find joy in our lives, and not so much, not even so much joy, but more accomplishment, things that we can be proud of, as opposed to happy, happy, happy. Because happy is a state of being that you can't maintain. You can't maintain for long periods of time, but I can maintain a state of accomplishment. And if I'm carrying out my goals, and everything is, and I'm actualizing that, I can have a state of appreciation for myself that can last the span of my whole life. But this joy thing, it's fleeting. It's like it lasts as long as, I don't know, when you eat Chinese food, an hour later you want more. It's that kind of thing. It just, you can't sustain it for long. Mr. Logic, you said you're gonna sit back in the corner and sip some green ginger beer. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. But my challenge is not about giving women hope about anything. It's about dealing with reality, dealing with the odds and the reality of life and what we have to deal with. Yes, unfortunately, happiness is limited. Yes. It can't be sustained for a long period of time. So that this is what I'm saying. Do not let these men attack your logic. Don't let them make you second guess what you instinctively know is wrong. If something feels wrong, then it is. Can we vote on that? Can we decide that if something feels wrong to you, then it is? Regardless of what he says his intentions are, and he didn't mean, because that's the shit they run. Well, I didn't, you're taking it the wrong way. I'm taking it the only way that counts, which is my way. The only way that counts is your way. What other way can you can't think how he thinks. It's impossible to think how anybody else thinks. So your way, your interpretation of what respect is the only fucking thing that counts for you in your life, ladies. Your interpretation of that. And he has to meet that. He has to meet that. Or else what are you going to do? You're going to sit being violated? You're going to sit every day absorbing insults, or what you interpret as insults, crossing bounds, sexual violations. I did a post today about sexual abuse. I did a post today about sexual abuse and how all women have gone through some level of sexual abuse, right? It could be, now if you ladies are honest, tell me. It could be a boyfriend that sexually abused you. It could be your husband. I know women that their husbands have raped them. And you say, well, how can a husband rape you? If you don't want sex and you're forced to have it, you tell me, what the fuck is that? What is that? You tell me what that is. A marriage license gives a man a right to have access to your body anytime he wants, whenever he wants, without your say? Is that what that is? Is that what that is? So it could be a boyfriend violating you, husband, uncle, stepfather, all kinds of people, all kinds of men. And it's unfortunate that a lot of women I coach have gone through different levels of sexual abuse and been violated. And they've been told, oh, you're making more out of this than what it is. They were told That, it's not what you think. I didn't mean it like this. They were told that too. They were told that too. So I say to you, the moment a man tries to attack your logic, flag it. Flag it. Call foul on that shit. Call foul on that. That is him trying to weaken your mind, trying to weaken you emotionally and mentally so that you can be puppeted. Flag it. Block it. Rebuke it. Whatever you have to do, but cut it at the jugular, cut it at the neck, cut the head off of it immediately. Immediately. There's no room for that. There's no room for that. Because it just goes downhill from there. When the bounds are crossed and there's no penalty when someone crosses bounds, they talk to you any kind of way they want. All kind of sideways talk. All kinds of other disrespect happens. It just funnels. It brings like a black hole. It just sucks everything in. It just sucks everything else in. And it's very common. Okay, we got a troll. This Dana Deep Throat. The hell is this? I gotta figure out how do you block? I don't know how to do that yet. But yes, I just wanted to jump on here real quick and talk about this thing called manipulation and how it comes to us, the two ways that it comes to us, which is vanity and questioning your judgment. Those two things. You said click beside the name. It only let me remove the comment. It didn't block them though. I don't know. Tracy, you asked, do you have videos about sugar daddies? What do you mean, like how to get a sugar daddy? I don't know what you're asking. I don't know what you're asking. My channel isn't really centered around how to get a man, because we all get men. That's not hard to do. We all get men. My focus is on us and the mentality needed so that we can make the choices that serve us best in regards to relationships and just in life in general. I think the esteem you need to get a man to care for you, or should I say you wanting to get a man to care for you, really has to do with, it all boils down to your self-esteem. What's my opinion on sugar daddies? I don't really have an opinion on them. They are financing companionship. Nobody's deceptive in that regard. The everything is up front. So to me, if the sugar daddy knows, you're only with him for the money, and you're only with him for the money, and everybody's okay with that, then it is what it is. Can you build a life with them? Do you want to build a life? Because a lot of these sugar daddies, the women that are with them are repulsed by them. Can you be with somebody you're repulsed by? Can you be with somebody for a lifetime that you are utterly repulsed by? Because some of these chicks are with these old decrepit men, but they're dropping coins. They're getting the car notes paid and school paid for, and so to me it's a temporary thing. It's not the long game. It's really not the long game. I had this chick, it amazes me what men pay for. But I was talking about the urine therapy on my Facebook page, and she said that she had this guy from, I think she said Cuba or whatever, that, pays her to pee in his mouth. He pays her, I think she said she gets about $400 just to squat over him and pee in his mouth every time. So she meets him, I think, on a weekly basis, maybe twice a month, or I don't know if she said it twice a month or a weekly basis. And she makes sure she drinks a lot of water that day. She loads up on the water. She squats over this man and gives him a mouthful of piss. And she's broke off 4 bills for about a minute, a minute of work. A minute of work. Why? Unbelievable what men will pay for. And you ladies are afraid of men? Men are crazy. Men are insane. Men are really men are really insane. And you are letting that kind of mentality intimidate you? Don't be intimidated by men. Not even a little bit. The only reason why you're intimidated by men is because of the vanity thing. It all goes back to that. They hold that shit over your head. High lively living. They dangle it over your head. And they become the source of your value and your worth and your identity. You let them do that. You let them do that. How is it that the men that are rich have those types of fetishes? Well, I don't know if it's just rich men. As a matter of fact, it's not just rich men. It's working class men that do it. I had a client who she's a dominatrix, and her clientele is businessmen, lawyers, you have doctors, and you have some judges in there and people in politics and stuff like that. So she had a pretty good range of clientele. And I asked her, I said, well, what is it that drive these men to come to you for you to abuse them? Why are they liking the abuse? And she said that, these men, they have these authoritative positions and they're looking for an escape from that. They're looking to be submissive to someone, and she offers them a break from their alpha maleness, that kind of thing. And I'm like, some of the stuff that she says she did to these respectable men in the community was like insane. Like she said, she shoe fucked this one guy, bent over, and she was actually, the heel of her shoe was in his ass. Blood everywhere, that kind of thing. He got off on that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was like, okay, so this is what men do? Men are peculiar. Men are peculiar to me. You guys are willing to go all the way there. Yeah, ooh is right. Ooh is right. But these were men that, pretty much were self-made and bosses that wanted to be beaten, wanted to be abused and violated in every kind of way that she could. I don't understand. But out here in the world, they had, this stance of I'm in control and I got this authority thing and whatever it is, and it's really fugazi. It's not the case. I will not be intimidated by any man. No, because you're not gonna hold vanity over my head. I don't care what you think about the way that I look. So once you take that off the table, the whole vanity thing, they have nothing. They have nothing else. They have nothing else to dangle over you. When you take when your vanity and how you look is not an issue, when he knows you are not insecure about how you look, you maintain total emotional control over yourself. Vladimir, how are you? I'm doing well, thank you. You maintain emotional control over yourself when you take the vanity off the table. I keep saying this all the time. You want to know how to control your situation. You want to know how to build self-esteem and to have it all of the time. Stop making how you look an issue. Stop fretting over how you look. A lot of you worry every single day and night about how you look. Get to the action. Get not. I don't know what you mean. Look, a peacock just looked at a peacock. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? So yeah, that's what this thing is. You know, that's what this thing is about at the end of the day. Do not let men intimidate you. You can be nice. Now, I'm not saying to be abrasive. I'm not saying, oh, I'm being summoned. What? Don't bother me. I'm doing a live. You can't come. No. I'm not saying don't, to be abrasive. I'm not saying that you have to be disrespectful. I'm not saying that you have to act like a man. I'm not saying to do any of that. I'm not saying to do any of that. I'm saying to have your boundaries in place, have your penalties for breaking those boundaries in place. Understand that you can walk away at any time, any moment. Understand that the ultimate choice is yours. You ain't never backed up into a corner, and you have to let him know that you always have a choice. You're not the last show in town, bruh. No, you're not. I'm with you because I want to be. They have to know these things. You want me to show you my car? I'll show them the car that you buy me. How about that? I don't even know what that's about. Hey, Miss P. Yes, Reeves, stand in your strength. Stand in your strength. That's what you do. Tracy, you said this guy asked me in less than a week. He wants to be my boyfriend and I feel pressured. In less than a week? Is he African? You know them Africans work quick. He must be African. Tell me, where'd you meet him at? Tracy, where'd you meet this dude? Busy, you said, okay, what type of man do you like? What characteristics does he need to have? He needs to be funny. That's a requirement for me. I like personality. I don't like men who have no sense of humor. That is extremely important to me because to me it's synonymous with intelligence. When you're funny, you have to be intelligent to be funny, and I like funny guys. I like funny guys. Kaza Abdul, you said I should marry you. I don't know about that. Other characteristics for me, I like busy men. I don't like men who have a lot of free time. I really don't like that. I would prefer that you have to pencil me into your life. That we have to plan a date like a month in advance. I love that. I don't like a man who's free every weekend. Like, you're not working hard enough. You're not working hard enough. If you have every weekend free, then you're not a boss. If you have every weekend free, you're not a boss. Sorry. So those would be the keeping busy. Those are the characteristics I like. Somebody who's a workaholic and he's funny. Those are the two things that are a must-have for me. Those are musts. Those are musts. And who's clean, who takes a shower every day. Some of you guys don't like to shower every day. I don't know what that is. You can't wash your nuts every other day. Unless you have your umbilical cord still attached to you, you must wash your balls every day. Good Lord. You know how many guys, you have to tell them, go shower. They'll just scratch and sniff. They'll just, they'll scratch and sniff. They won't go to the shower. Like, what is that about? I like guys who keep themselves clean. You don't have to be extra attractive, because I like scruffy men, but you got to be clean. You got to be clean. You got to be that. Reeve, you said stop it late. I'm being serious. Wash your nuts. This every other day thing. Every 15th hour. Christina, you said hygiene is next to godliness. Yes, it is. Good hygiene makes you attractive. Good hygiene makes you more attractive. So you could be an average looking guy, and if you smell good, it's going to be like the bomb. What is that? Oh, you giving him the rundown, Mr. Logic? Yeah, please do. Please do, because I'm on the hunt. I'm out for blood today. This guy really got on my nerves today. I don't like any I don't like assumptions. I don't like men to assume anything about me. You can ask, and I'll tell you. And for the most part, you kind of should be able to know that certain things are gonna be off limits. But as I said, people test. Men will test you. They will test you. So because I'm lighthearted and I talk about sex, don't mean that I want you. It doesn't mean that you are going to get an opportunity. That's not how this thing goes. That's not how this thing goes. But men are like that. If you talk about sex, they assume that you want to screw everybody. You guys don't know. You're not good at reading women as much as you think. Sometimes women just want attention. They don't even want sex. They just want attention. Do you understand that? Do you guys understand that? Some women are not interested in sex. They just want you to tell them, I'm pretty. Hello? Hello? Abdul, what's your issue? What's your issue? You told me I'm hot, and you put your number up there? Cookie, you said only the immature perpetrate foolishness? Yeah, immature people do it. Manipulative people do it. All kinds of people do it. All kinds of people do it. There is this theory that if a woman had more than so many partners, she will not be able to bond after so many men. I would say this: a woman with a lot of partners, I think the more partners you have, the more challenges you have emotionally. I do think that. I think that having multiple partners does create a degree of mental instability, mental illness, because you're just not you're not at peace. You can't be at peace because you got all this genetic material swimming in your bloodstream. Sperm is blood. If you ladies didn't know, sperm is blood. And every sperm that you swallow, ingest in your mouth and whatever hole you let them put it in, becomes a part of you. It becomes a part of you, and it stays there. Now the body has total cellular turnover every 7 years. Like everything regenerates itself every 7 years. So that would mean that if you wanted to clean yourself out, you would have to not have sex with no sexual intercourse with any man, anybody, for 7 years to really get back to yourself, to get back to homeostasis and become and get back to your right mind again. You would have to not have sex with anybody. But, you get into this relationship this year, it doesn't work out. Next year is another dude, that doesn't work out. Maybe the third one, you're with him for 3 years, and then that doesn't work out. That takes a toll on your body. Betterment, you said, what about spiritual cord cutting soul ties? I've heard of rituals to do that. It's like, how do you prove that it worked? That's my only thing is, okay, what do you do? How do you know it has worked? And I'm like, I haven't seen any success with it. I think the ritual itself of imagining cutting a cord, cutting that etheric cord between you and an ex-lover can give you some sort of comfort, some sort of mental comfort. It's symbolic in a way, and it gives you that emotional, okay, it's over, and the ritual itself gives you an ease emotionally. But outside of that, how can you tell if it works? How can you tell? When you have sex, what happens is the walls of your vagina have microscopic tears in them, like from the friction of him inside you going back and forth. You develop microscopic tears on the walls of your vagina, and these tears in your vagina allow bacteria and all whatever he has goes into your bloodstream through sex. So you just imagine if you have 2 or 3, 4 partners all putting microscopically tearing your walls and putting their sperm, their blood into you. Girl, it's a mess. It's a mess. And that's why a lot of women suffer from the yeast infections, smelly vaginas. You can't get rid of it. It's like a scent that you have. And even if you're screwing one man, your whole pH balance gets thrown off. And you ladies can attest to this. When you are not sexually active, you have a totally different scent, a totally different smell than when you are actually sexually active. You are sweeter when there's no man inside of you. You're sweeter when there's no man inside of you. Display said, don't tear the walls. I don't tear the walls, I break the walls. Yikes. Okay. You breaking walls. All right. So yes, Roz, it is facts. So you let this man dig up all in your ass, tear down your walls, put his bacteria sperm, his blood, which is sperm, inside of you, and you got it swimming around in there, and you think you're going to maintain a healthy mentality? You're being invaded. His sperm is invading your body. His genetic material is now inside of you. He's created a thread, an etheric cord, an umbilical cord between himself and you now. It's like he is inside of you. Kendrick, you said everybody should be married when they're practicing sex. Should, but who's doing that? HA, you said, ooh, the way you describe it is so unique. Listen, I like when you guys are grossed out. I love it when I can gross you out, because it you know, some of us need it on that level to realize how serious this thing is. Some of you are brave and not fearful enough about sex. You know, I talk about, you know, the stuff I eat and everything, and you guys go, well, I gotta research it. I gotta do all this research to do holistic treatments and all that stuff. But you ain't putting that much research or time into the person that you're fucking. You don't research him. He could slide in your ass after 2 dates. But if I tell you go, you know, stop eating meat or whatever, well, I need to research that. Really? When a dude you meet today can fuck you a month from now, you need to research something that'll heal you. I don't understand. Mr. Lodge, you said I'm never having sex again. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's a lot of chicks out here that are yeasty and will still let you lick and lap her down like a lap dog that you are. She will let you do that. Do you know how many women on their last day of their cycle still let you eat and you don't even know it? She doesn't tell you she's on her last day of her period and you sopping up blood and you don't even know it. You men that's so anxious to you know, to prove that you got skills, you nasty dudes. You nasty dudes need to keep your penises in your pants too. But you don't do that because it, you know, it's about being pleased. So she got yeast going on, blood going on, you earning Red Wings and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. Vladimir, you said the truth set them free. Listen at me. You guys get somebody to love and forget about your freedom. You know, this thing about I want to be free to be with who I want and be with who I want and be with who I want is overrated. It really is overrated. You ruin your life when you cheat. You ruin your life when you screw a woman that you really don't want to be with. Having babies with women that you can't stand. You ruin your life. There's nothing good coming out of that kind of freedom. There's nothing good coming out of that. You ladies think you could be like men and you're just gonna hop and skip and jump with whomever you want, and your vaginas are flaming like fish. Your vaginas ain't been sweet since 1989. What? For what? Just to say that you can do it? And? Kendrick, you said, I would love to take you as a concubine. I'm nobody's concubine. I ain't nobody's concubine. You're going to have to do better than that. A better life is really overrated. It is. But it's propaganda, you all. It's media. Sex is everywhere. And this thing called sex drive, which is really not a sex drive. We are influenced by media and by our society to want sex more than is natural. Because it's not natural to want to screw every day. It's not natural because it's not healthy to do it. For a man or a woman. Especially men. You guys gotta, you know, preserve your life order. Banging it out, rubbing it out every other day, twice a week, or whatever it is. It's not natural. Reeves, you said married people step out on each other all the time. Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. And that's a bad thing to do too. It's a bad thing to do too. But married people do it. They they don't honor the vows. They don't honor the vows because they're bored. They don't feel love. They don't feel passion. You know, that sort of thing. This is why I like busy men, because busy men just they're too busy to be bored. This is why it's important for men to have a life purpose, because with a life purpose, you're concentrating on your purpose rather than sitting feeling bored. One of the requirements that I have is if I'm talking to a guy and he doesn't like his job, that's a no bueno. I don't want to talk to no man who hates what he does, because that means on his free time he's looking for an escape. He's looking for an outlet, he's looking for an escape. He's looking for something to bring him some sort of semblance of joy, and it's usually involving some type of perversion, some type of excess to balance all the low self-esteem and the negativity that he puts himself through by being in an environment or job that he doesn't want to be in. Men who don't like their work are problems. They're big problems. Big time. Green, you said, I love sex, I love Latinas. Okay. Good for you. Good for you. So, ladies, I would advise you that, you know, the requirement for your man is not that he spend all this time with you. You want a man that's busy. You want a man with purpose. You want a man with some sort of spiritual base to him, you know, whether that be Christian or whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. But he has to have some sort of spiritual base. And men that don't believe in anything will do anything. It's unfortunate, but true. So these things are the fundamentals. Fundamentals. Salkis, you just selling something in $1 million? What? What do you mean? Amelia, you said, I have known men who love their jobs and still hold around. Well, there are other factors to it too, but a man that, to me, in general, I'm speaking in general, a man who dislikes his job is going to look for an escape, and it's not going to be a nice escape. It's just not. It's not the only reason why a man would cheat is that he doesn't like his job. That's not the only reason. But if he likes his work, he's going to be at work. And he's going to be at work a lot. That's what I'm saying. So a man who works a lot makes money. That's important. That's also important. Why do I think he'll do anything if he doesn't have spirituality? Because spirituality comes with a right and wrong. Spirituality comes with morals. There's usually some sort of moral commandment, laws to live by, that sort of thing, with when you have a spiritual base. When you don't have a spiritual base, the right or wrong is, you know, based on your mood or whatever it is you want to do. And really anything goes. Really, there is no right or wrong. That's why I say that, beautiful, pure. Spirituality is important. Abdul, you're starting to be a heckler. That's where you're going right now. You're reaching heckler status. So I'm watching you. Display you're a Satanist? Okay. All right. So, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up for this. Yeah, he's trolling. He's trolling Reeves. But I think I'm going to wrap up this live for now because it's over an hour. Kendrick, you said women are attracted to men with wealth and fame. Every woman wants to be cared for. Yes, there's a lot of weirdos in here this evening. Beautiful. I don't know what that's about. I don't know where all these weirdos came from. There's a whole bunch. But yes, every woman wants to be cared for. There isn't a woman that's a real woman who doesn't want to be catered to. Everyone does. No matter what she looks like, no matter what she does, what she has, every woman does. So it's nothing new. So yeah, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me for this hour today. I really appreciate it, and the donations and all of that. Once again, thank you, my queen. And as for the weird ones, they used to push us forward. Yeah. Yes, they are. So thank you guys for spending this time with me. Replay it. Take notes. You ladies understand your power. Do not second guess yourself for anyone. If it doesn't feel right to you, then it's not right. Then it's not right. You have to judge the right or wrong of anything based on what it feels like to you, not a person's intent. Because their intention can be anything. And more times than not, they're lying. More times than not, they're lying anyway. So you base your right and wrong on how you feel first. First and foremost. Do not worry about what he thinks about the way you look. That's the second point to wrap this thing up, because it's vanity and attacking your mentality, attacking how you think about things. Those are the two ways men penetrate you and tear down your resolve. You're beautiful. Decide that you're beautiful. No matter what he says, no matter what anyone thinks, don't be impressed by the compliments. Don't be impressed by the flattery. It doesn't matter either way, because flattery, you can't go to the bank with it. You can't pay a near one bill with it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Say thank you and keep it moving. Say thank you and keep it moving. But do not second guess yourself. Abdul, you said, I think you look like shit, but in a good way. I'd like to see your profile too. Like I said, you're a heckler today, and you might get blocked. You might get blocked. You might. So, yeah. No, I don't need your number. Don't flash your number, because no one's calling you. No one's calling you. Take it down. Relax yourself. This channel and this transmission is not a game. It's not a fucking game. This is serious. I have other things that I can be doing with my time here. Other things. So don't do the heckle thing. Relax it and take it down a bit. You're here by my grace. Thank you. All right, you guys, let me go before this gets into something else. I appreciate you. Yes, I'm going to get moderators. I'm going to have to. At this point, because I don't know what's going on today. Yes, I'm going to get moderators for the next one. I'm going to set that up. Anyone who wants to be a moderator, just, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know so I can make you a moderator. Okay? You said moderators make it boring. We'll see how this thing goes. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of fools in here today. A lot of people trying it today, so. All right, y'all. So I'm out. I will leave all the links to contact me in the description box, and I appreciate it. You guys take notes, take the wisdom, and be empowered, ladies. Be empowered. All right. Peace and love.